Hey, how's it going, everybody? I wanted to talk today about why voluntarist ethics only apply to humans. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a framework to think about this. And the purpose is to give you something that has a strong, consistent basis as the foundation. Now, voluntarism typically applies to humans in voluntarist philosophical thought because humans are the actors who are making these rules. Humans are rational. They have the ability to think and to analyze and to judge and to evaluate and express those things. And because of this, humans can communicate and discuss different elements of philosophy, recognize it, and reproduce it. Now, this doesn't mean that all humans are able to do this. Of course, there are young humans who are not able to fully form their thoughts yet. There are those who have genetic predispositions to a lower intelligence. They may have been born with a chromosomal issue, or they have some type of incident that caused brain trauma and so forth, and they're not able to really understand and reciprocate voluntarist ethics. But the key here is to apply this concept for the average member of a species. And why that is an important metric is to understand that fundamentally other organisms cannot provide the reciprocity that is required to have consistent ethics. When it comes to humans, humans can be expected to generally treat other humans with a respect to private property and to others' bodies. Whereas animals, on the other hand, by and large, cannot do the same. They don't have the concept of property or the ability to respect human beings' property. You see them crossing the boundaries all the time or attacking or doing different things to other humans or animals because they don't have the ability to comprehend these kinds of concepts. It's just not something that they're developmentally capable of. And more importantly, you cannot have consistency with animals, especially where animals are eating other animals to survive. Carnivorous animals, animals that eat other types of living things, things that have, a central nervous system and have blood, they inherently must eat other animals in order to survive or they will die. So with this in mind, to have consistent ethics, either humans would have to be seen as valid in eating meat, including other humans, in order to have consistency, just like carnivorous animals do. Or, to be consistent, if it was considered wrong to eat other animals, animals which ate other animals would have to be seen as murderers. They would have to be inherently seen as evil and worthy of destruction, just like a human wouldn't be excused for killing another human even if they ate them. So, this is really a matter of consistency, and it's very reasonable to see this. It's not an absolute perfect system. It's not some magical thing. It's just about humans using reason and evidence and study of nature to come up with something that is more consistent. And so with that in mind, the consistent ethical basis for voluntarism is the reciprocity element for the average member of a species. And to that extent, if it could be shown that there's some other creature that happens to be able to respect human-centric norms, that could be an exception to that rule. In other words, maybe there's some impressive type of ape or chimpanzee or dolphin or something of that nature that is able to respect human norms. Maybe that would be a candidate for an exception to the general rule. But by and large, in order to have consistency, it must be held that for humans, this property is something that can be consistently held among the average member of the species, and that reasonably people can respect those things. In other words, there's culpability for failing to do so. It would be completely unreasonable, of course, if people thought it was okay to run over babies in the street, right? I mean, that'd be silly. You expect to be able to see children and avoid hurting them. Whereas people can't hold that same standard if they happen to run over a small lizard or a frog or a squirrel, rabbit, and so forth. People don't have that moral outrage that takes place there. And it makes sense because fundamentally the issue is about humans respecting humans and growing peace as among humans. So to have that consistency, voluntarism inherently, consistently, and logically revolves around human beings and their abilities to perceive others' body and property and reciprocate respect of those things. All right, thanks everybody for listening, and I'll talk to y'all later.